Safety of crew and passengers is a very critical issue for the shipping industry. The study of recent accidents, such as the Costa Concordia, the Express Samina, and more recently the Normal Atlantic and the Euroferry Olympia, show that if the evacuation process is not working effectively, the number of fatalities will be high. Evacuation failures frequently point to trapped passengers in staterooms and damaged public ship areas. Despite the significant progress in the safety regulation framework and in the design of consistent evacuation plans and procedures, the development of and use of automation techniques in the evacuation management process remains a challenge. PALAEMON Smart Evacuation Management approach shows how new technology can be deployed to obtain significant improvements in the performance of the evacuation process.
When an emergency situation arises, the bridge must provide a response. If the appropriate response is the evacuation of the ship, a very complex process starts, which involves the management and the reallocation of a large number of people, in a very short time, from 60 to 90 minutes. The evacuation process is executed according to the evacuation plan of the ship. It includes several coordinated steps, from assessment of the situation to the order of evacuation, the information of the crew and the passengers, to their gathering to the designated assembly stations, and then, to their embarkation to the lifeboats. The evacuation process should ensure that everyone on board is accounted for and safely removed from the ship, or reallocated to a safe area. Currently, the process is essentially coordinated manually, with the use of sound alarms to inform passengers, and walkie-talkies for the communication between the bridge and the crew. In the few recent cases where a ship evacuation has been ordered, the process performance was very mediocre. The PALAEMON project has developed and tested under in vivo conditions a smart evacuation management platform to improve the efficiency of the evacuation process in passenger ships. The platform is designed to integrate several information systems and state-of-the-art communication technologies to address the challenges of passenger ship evacuation, such as the need for clear and concise passenger information, effective and reliable communication channels, and proper coordination of the crew members. The Smart Evacuation Management Platform is organized as a microservices architecture, which offers the possibility of a semi-automated process management and monitoring. To successfully operate within the specific environment of a ship, it is connected to onboard sensing and communication infrastructures, specifically designed and deployed for emergency situations, A wireless access points and beacons network for people tracking, and B, a 5G standalone, private, cell network for low latency and high reliability emergency messaging.
Ομάδα πυρόσβεσης. Βλέπω έναν αισθητήρα καπνού στην κουζίνα να είναι κόκκινος. Παρακαλώ ερευνήστε και αναφέρατε.
Πάω να ελέγξω αμέσως. Over. Υπάρχει όντως φωτιά, στείλτε firefighting team. Over.
Ομάδα πυρόσβεσης, παρακαλώ πηγαίνετε στο 9PG1, υπάρχει πυρκαγιά. Αναφέρετε πρόοδο κατάσβεσης.
Ελήφθη, over. Ελήφθη. Η φωτιά είναι πολύ μεγάλη. Η πυρόσβεση να δίνεται από εμάς. Σας στέλνω βίντεο.
Πλήρωμα, λάβατε θέσεις εκτάκτου ανάγκης. Δεν είναι άσκηση.
Μάλιστα, έρχομαι. Είμαι στη θέση μου. Over.
Όλο το πλήρωμα στις θέσεις τους. Ειδοποιώ τους επιβάτες. Μάριε, σε παρακαλώ πήγαινε, βοήθησε την έγκυο στην καμπίνα 9217. Πλήρωμα, βλέπω έναν εγκλωβισμένο επιβάτη στην καμπίνα 9223. Παρακαλώ, διερευνήστε. Εάν όλοι έχουν συγκεντρωθεί στους σταθμούς συγκέντρωσης, παρακαλούμε προχωρήστε σε εκένωση.
Project PALAEMON is the first initiative that deals with the safety of ships. So PALAEMON is covering all the phases that are interesting for safety. So there is a first phase that is the situation awareness when the ship is sailing, to detect the problems that can occur with the ship or the passengers. So the second aspect is to enhance the evacuation process inside the ship. So giving information to the captain and to the staff all the things that they need to do, and they need to do about the evacuation. The objective being to win at least 10 minutes on the evacuation process. And finally, the last aspect of PALAEMON project is to design a mass evacuation vehicle that can contain 450 people. What is your background and your role related to the project?
My role in ANEK, I'm the DPA, designated person assured, and I'm with ANEK for 5 years almost. My background, I am ex-chief engineer. I have been at sea for more than 20 years.
I am a former colonel of the Air Force. I dealt with many Horizon projects while I was in HMOD, and I used to be also working in the safety part in Hellenic Air Force, and also in the force protection, dealing with matters like safety and security and stuff like this.
So first of all, let me tell you, yeah, you're right, I have deep knowledge, of course, on the maritime system and on the maritime domain and awareness and so on, and surveillance.
Yes, I'm a retired captain engineer from Hellenic Navy. I have been training in the firefighting and the rescue at sea, and help and assisted with the other ships in Portsmouth of United Kingdom.
I represent Ericsson at this project. I'm project manager, and I represent Ericsson in this very successful European project. Our mission here and our contribution was to provide the technology. As Ericsson, we provide the technology, and we provided the radio access network.
I'm an associate professor at the National Technical University of Athens at the School of Naval Architecture and Marine Engineering. My group, Maritime Risk Group, is a part of the Laboratory for Maritime Transport, and a big portion of what we are doing has to do exactly with marine safety and safety issues on board ships. Now, my background, I'm a naval architecture and marine engineering, so I'm more or less very much into my environment.
I am about 10 years in ANEK lines as a second officer, and I work on ELYROS ship now.
What did you find interesting and innovative in the demonstration this morning, and what would you like to have in your system to be installed?
As a DPA, I'm directly involved with the safety of the passengers of the vessels. So I see here a tool, a useful tool that can solve us problems that we had for decades.
As far as I saw in this project, it's an innovative solution that enhances the capability for a fast, efficient and safe evacuation of the ship. I saw that gives the awareness to the captain, also to the crew, to understand what's going on the ship, giving also very accurate information, exchanging information among the crew members and also with passengers. It's a very interesting project. I believe it can be easily work in ships, also even in other sections that we need to be aware of the situation and where a lot of people are in place.
This morning I was quite impressed because, of course, I was really convinced at the beginning that this sort of system is really useful. It can be really useful to evacuate in an efficient way the passengers on board passenger ships. You have to know as well that with my knowledge of the maritime industry, I know already that some cruise companies are looking for some solution like this for years now. So let's say that this solution is an adequate solution regarding all the freight and all what is needed for the passenger safety.
It was very useful and was very impressive for me because all this demonstration rely about the possibilities of this system. It was very nice because it's very good, very useful for the master to see how they manage all the crew, all the passengers for evacuation of the ship. This system, I believe that has many possibilities to expand all this, because maybe to the future many sensors connect with the system and they have many information, a lot of information about the passengers.
Our mission here and our contribution was to provide the technology. As Ericsson, we provide the technology and we provided the radio access network. This radio access network is a 5G standalone network. The deployment, the benefits of this network, the 5G standalone network, is that it is a private network. We can use it, every business, every organization, all one can use this network in order to have ultra-low latency, higher bit rates. This network boosts the capacity and the coverage that provides, which is very important for such applications like this one, which demand very accurate and very fast access to the data.
The PALAEMON project is a very interesting project. You know, marine safety, as we said, it's very important, especially for this kind of ships like big passenger ships, because the cargo is very sensitive, it's people. So all the issues around the mastering and the evacuation of ships, it's of utmost importance. The PALAEMON project has this novelty, it brings this novelty of integrating new technologies in existing procedures, in the legacy, as we call them, legacy procedures on board ships. So having all these new technologies, having all these gadgets and items, and integrating all the information on a decision support tool is very important, because this gives to the captain the possibility to exactly take the right decision and act properly when this is needed.
I have to tell you congratulations for this big effort, because it's very helpful and very hopeful when will be in reality, because we can decrease the time of evacuation of the ship, and we think that 10 minutes of decrease is very big for us when we have a lot of passengers.
Third question is how would you rate the system from an integration point of view, services and data, from 0 to 10?
As far as I saw, it's very well designed, this system, and integrated also. Of course, can be expanded according to the needs of the people. And the rate, I can say it's 9.5. In my opinion, it's also the technical things that I asked, some details. I was very pleased to see that covers all these aspects.
I will give a good 8 because like every system could be improved, could give more than what already it gives.
Regarding the integration, I think I can give a good 8.
In this stadium, about 8 to 9.
From
because it's the first attempt is very impressive.
Of course, it is very important for us, as I said before, as technology provider, to have also the applications and the end-to-end successful and useful use cases. This is one major thing for all the vendors like us and the telecom industry, that we need the use cases.
I would say I would give a very nice 8 or 9 because there's always room for improvement. We need to do more things here. We need to integrate and have a bigger number of sensors, a bigger number of data sources in order to have the actual picture of what's going on in all the stages of the event during its initiation, escalation, and up to the point that you have to do the evacuation process in order to get the best possible result.
Next question is how much would you give from 0 to 10 to the increase of situation awareness and decision support that the system can give?
As I told you before, gives you a very good awareness for the crew members, accurate information, fast. I can rate it in 9.7 if I.
As we know, the decisions are depending on the data you have to take the right decision. So here I see that the captain is provided with accurate and useful data. So I will say a good 9 here.
As we understand, awareness, it's a very important thing because from the bridge, the captain and the officers should know exactly what's going on during this kind of event, what's going on their ship, in the sense of where the people are, in the sense of what is going on in various parts of the ship, and also whether we have some people disabled, some people that they need immediate assistance. So I believe that the project is giving a very, very good feedback towards this end. And I also truly believe that we could use this kind of system in order to get a very good result and to save lives at the very end. The mark is 9.5.
I think about 9.5. It's very helpful for us. We have in one computer we can have all the information we need with the checklist or the alarms. It's very good.
9.
What is your idea and what is your rating in terms of human-machine interface and user-friendliness of the system?
I would give you a good 9 because I think it's really user-friendly HMI. So and you have taken into consideration the main topic there.
I will say yes, and I will give again a good 8 here. I don't know how it's going to work with passengers, so that's why I will give an 8 here.
It's very friendly, user-friendly, if I can say. As I saw the use of the system, it was easy to work with this, and also for the crew members and also the passengers to understand how it works. And the rate can be also 9.5.
Okay. It's very important and very, it has many expectations.
Yes, it's very easy.
From 0 to 10, yeah. Okay.
I think 9.5.
We have done a lot of work of what we call as HMI, human-machine interfaces. It is quite user-friendly. It gives the necessary information in order, exactly as I said, to support the decision, because this is the key term here, decision support. And I think that it gives a very good overview of various types of information, either whether we are talking about the localization of people or whether we are talking about the risk level of the various decks and what's going on in these decks. So I think that's a very good tool, and I would very much support its usage.
I will give you a 9 as well. It's quite, I think it's simple to use, as it is.
PALAEMON was a very good example for what new technology, and especially 5G, can offer to the whole world. In terms of deployment, which was our basic contribution, is how easy we did it. How it was very easy to install it, to deploy this kind of network in a boat. So this is very important for other cases also.
Wanted to address a very important question during the evacuation of the ship. Who passenger is where? And I believe we successfully addressed this question by providing all the information that's needed, the identity of the passenger, the location of the passenger at any moment of the evacuation from the time 0 until the embarkation. We are in the position to monitor the movement of the passengers, to organize the crew through the automation of the evacuation process on how to help passengers, and of course to help the captain, the master, the bridge to understand the situation and take the right decision at the right time. The main advantage of the approach we have chosen is that we can accelerate the evacuation process, help people they could not join immediately the mastering room.
But you have to understand, regarding maritime safety, you have to comply with international maritime laws, and you have to, let's say, have your system validated by organisms like classification society, IMO, because this system should be considered as a decision support system and should, let's say, follows the rules of the SOLAS Safety of Life at Sea Code.